Life is hard, that's for sure, and we all know that. But what's your default? When life throws obstacles in your way or challenges, what is your default? What do? Do you, get your handy dandy phone and phone a friend and commiserate, or do you deal with it on your own? How do you deal? So I'm going to tell you the importance, as I know it, in handling these things, whatever they are, roadblocks, obstacles, things that are thrown at us to challenge us, and challenge our sanity, sometimes challenge our, whatever. It's important that, and I didn't know this for a very long time. It took a lot to teach me. I'm kind of a slow learner when it comes to some things, but I'll tell you a story. I'll start there. So I have a good friend, and we've been friends for a very long time, and we used to do this thing every day. It was like an everyday ritual. Either she would call me or I would call her in the morning. This is how we would start our day. And we would bitch, and, we would laugh hysterically. In fact, we even got into making memes about our ex-significant others, who we would constantly bitch about and commiserate with each other over, and, boo-hoo. But then we would laugh, and it kind of was a band-aid for the misery. And this went on for years, literally years. And I didn't realize the damage I was actually doing to myself by doing this. Not that the friendship was bad, or even the conversation was necessarily bad, but what was happening was I was in a she was in a dysfunctional relationship, and I was in a toxic relationship. But what it would do was put a band-aid on it for the day. And then I was okay to get through the day. I was, like, okay, I'm good, And what was happening was I was not learning anything. I wasn't evolving. I wasn't growing. I was just staying on that merry-go-round, round and round and round, same shit, different day. That was me. And then, I had made my peace with the fact that I was just destined to be in a bad relationship, because I was, the adopted child, boo-hoo, woe's me, something's wrong with me. But something deep down inside of me told me to challenge that. And I'm glad it did. Otherwise, I would still be on that merry-go-round, I'm sure. So anyway, I went on my journey, and I healed myself. And then I realized, like, the light bulb came on. I realized what I was doing by, putting the Band-Aid on the toxicity that was my life just to get through it. It was a bad drug is what it was. And I missed out on a lot of opportunity. And sometimes, this is going to sound crazy, but these challenges are actually opportunities. If you know and you change your perspective to look at things, and when something happens, take a step back and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What do I need to learn from this? There's the value right there. And if you're not doing that, you're robbing yourself of an awesome opportunity to learn something and grow. And you're going to stay on the merry-go-round, because you have to challenge the challenge, and you have to look into the challenge, not instead of reacting to it, accept it that it's happening, but look for the lesson, because that's the lesson that you're supposed to learn so that you can be a better person. And if you start doing that and you start training yourself to do that, you will automatically gravitate towards the positive and not the negative, and you won't overreact. Because some of us, let's face it, when things happen, if you're already broken, everything is magnified. It is. And I know that. I understand it. I don't live there anymore, thankfully. But I don't want you to live there either. And I want you to take a step back and analyze the situation. Accept the fact that it's happening. Accept it and be like, okay, challenge accepted. Once you accept that challenge, then find the lesson. Once you learn the lesson, there's nothing you can't get through. Believe me, it works. And it's so much healthier because, like I said, then you evolve as a person and you grow. You learn, you grow, and then there's new challenges. And if you just get into the habit of doing this, your life will be infinitely better automatically, because you're learning lessons and you're not having to repeat them over and over and over. Me, I repeated the same mistakes for years. And I thought, oh, I was just, poor me, I'm a wounded child. And it wasn't until after I healed the wounded child that I was able to see this and understand it. But I understand it now, and I want you to understand it too, because it will help you. There are always going to be obstacles, there's always going to be challenges, but accept those challenges and learn the lesson. And once you learn the lesson, you'll get through it and you'll move forward. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. And think of it as a good, you're getting an education. And sometimes it's rough, and I understand that. And different challenges are, varying degrees of difficulty. I understand that too. But there's nothing you can't get through if you have that perspective and you look at it that way and you accept what's happening and you learn the lesson. Super important, super valuable.